What is it that you're looking up there?
Oh, the date of the next freelance wrestling show.
Are you talking about Walk Among Us 2 on October 27th?
Hell yeah.
Is that the one that features a 6-man scramble featuring Pittsburgh's own Sean Phoenix?
Yeah.
This might be the event where the entire team beta is taking out Isaiah Velasquez, and maybe if he can scrounge up a friend, maybe he'll have a mystery partner.
I feel, he's a solid competitor. I'm sure someone will step up and compete with him.
Now, is this freelance wrestling?
Yeah.
At the Chop Shop in Chicago. Tickets are only $15.
Yes.
Could I get tickets, hats, shirts, DVDs, hoodies, wristbands, all these things at freelancewrestling.com?
You sure? Yeah.
See, now that's the kicker right there. They just redesigned the website. I feel pretty good about it.
I feel great.
And the DanDans want to know, what does freelance wrestling have to do with gaming? Well, let me tell you. Robert Ego Anthony took on Kenny Sutra in a fucking weird Christmas match where the fans can bring presents. I brought a present, and Ego opened it up, and it was an N64. And Ego held it in his hands, and he went, Nintendo 64! And then he murdered Kenny Sutra with it.
Yeah.
So that's what freelancewrestling.com has to do with what game are you gaming. You know what game you gaming is?
I do, but they don't.
It's this show! Myself, name of Ian, and the artist formerly known as Ike Charles, talk about what games we've been gaming, and we take just an overarching topic sometimes, and we talk it out. You know what I'm saying?
I think you called me Ike Charles.
I don't think so.
Watch the tape.
This is audio only.
There's a tape in there somewhere.
I don't think that's how it works. It's a digital recording. Now, the topic this week is going to be the top 5 games, both of our lists, from the last generation of gaming. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and if you're a little child, maybe you have one of those Wiis, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. No, the Wii had good games. But before we get into that, I want to tell a story or two. And I want you...
What is the show? Story time?
I mean, it's kind of whatever we want it to be.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I want you to tell me about one of the moments that had you scared the most ever in playing video games.
Oh,
what was
okay.
like a scary fucking moment?
I honestly, dude, like probably the scariest I've like the game
over.
The game that scared me the most was probably Outlast.
Yeah.
And like I played that when I was like 23. And I was fucking so scared because I got into it. Like I was like, it was just an indie game, it wasn't very long, and so I went in my room, I turned all the fucking lights off. It was pitch black in my room.
Which is the way to play a scary game.
And like what's so scary about that game is that there's no fighting. Mm-hmm. There's no guns, you literally have no way to defend yourself. In that, like, you can't kill anything. Mm-hmm. You are completely helpless against everything. All you can do is hide and run.
Yeah.
And there's a cool mechanic, if you haven't played it, where you're like a journalist going through a abandoned insane asylum. I guess it's not abandoned because there's a bunch of people in there, but I don't know.
It's just not up and running.
Yeah.
It's not like there's no one there. If it was abandoned, it'd be a boring game.
Yeah. And it's a lot of the points in the game are pitch black, and you have a camcorder, and like you look through it. With the night vision, and night vision is always terrifying.
What about during like a sex tape?
I'm still scared. I'm afraid like something's gonna jump out at me. And like there's a point early on in the game where you like crawl in through the window and it's pitch black and you're really fucking spooked, and then you get to like this big the main entrance hall. It's like this big room and there's lights on. You can see finally. And you turn one corner and there's a guy in a wheelchair, like a man.
Tara and I
And
played this part a couple months ago.
and he's just like, he looks like really emaciated and like almost dead.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looks dead, like it's a
looks like
dead
he may have
body.
been burned.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you assume it's a dead body,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna buy that in a horror game.
You're like, don't move,
gonna
please,
jump out at
please don't move.
And so he's like laid over in this wheelchair and shit, but you have to walk past him
Yeah.
to get to the next point. And so I'm walking past him, and like my eyes are on him the whole time.
Mhm.
Like I'm literally like, walking with my back to the wall, like just looking at this guy,
Yeah.
in case he tries to attack me. And like he doesn't attack me, he doesn't move, and like I back into the next room with staring at him, and I turn around, I'm like, okay, I'm good. And in the next room, this was creepy. It wasn't like scary, it was just creepy. There's a bunch of like people in there who are alive.
Mental patients.
But yeah, they're mental patients, and they don't pay any attention to you.
It's as
Like
if
they
you're not
don't
there.
even know you're there.
They're
And
watching TV.
That was really creepy.
Mhm.
And it was cool, but you like go in there, you find something that you need.
Well, you should say that they didn't see you because they were watching TV at first, but then you go in there and it's just static on the TV.
Yeah.
So they're not watching anything.
I forgot that.
And then you can walk directly in front of the TV. They still don't know you're there.
Yeah.
And if you walk up next to them, because I got pretty bold, I walked right up next to him. One of the guy's eyes is sewn shut, and he's watching TV. Dan has play Outlast.
It's good.
If you dare.
It's not a long game, but it shouldn't be, because
Mhm.
like the fact that you're defenseless and you can't do anything is it's the like one of the best parts, but
Mhm.
it's also that you can't play that a long time. You know, that's like that needs to be a short experience.
Outlast was scary enough to get me to turn it off a couple times.
I never turned it off, and I'll tell you why in a second. But so yeah, you go into that room with all those mental patients that don't even pay attention to you.
Mhm.
You find something in there that you need, like a key or a note or something, and then you have to go back out the way you came.
Mhm.
And so I leave the room. That guy, the dead guy in the wheelchair, is still there. I gotta walk past him.
And you know he's not a threat at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So without even thinking about it, I walk past him, and right when I get next to him, he fucking attacks me. And I almost screamed.
And he doesn't even attack you, but like he accosts you.
Oh,
He gets out
like
of
gets
his
in your
chair
face.
and he holds on to you, but he's actually pleading with you.
Yeah.
He's pleading with you to help him and to get out of here. Like, you don't belong here. He doesn't want to hurt you. Like, once you get him off of you, he just like crawls like away from you, like either down the hallway or back to his chair. He was just trying to warn you, don't be here. Like, if I had a choice, I wouldn't be here.
But it was just so like that was such a well-designed
Mhm.
thing. Like,
and
to,
him
like,
not wanting to hurt you is scarier.
yes. And then so that's the thing, like those are the only people you come in contact with.
Mhm.
Well, at that stage in the game, it's
Mhm.
non-threatening, just like victims basically, but they're still scary. Then so it's like there's like a hallway, and I'm walking out of the hallway back into the main like the main hall, and then there's another hallway, and like I walk up there, and as I walk up there, a dude just like runs out from the other end, like far away.
Mhm.
I didn't even stop to see what happened, like what it was. I just turned around and ran the opposite direction. That shit, I
never beat it because I never died. I was so into that game. I was like, I'm gonna die. I can't let them get me.
So here's the thing, like horror movies don't do shit to me.
Mm-mm.
I don't get scared at all from horror movies.
Because you don't feel connected. You're like, that's their shit.
Games, fucking horror games are scary because you're in it.
There are
like
stakes.
you're
They're coming to get you.
yes,
They're
like
not coming to get Laurie Strode.
right. It feels feels different. It's like when you go into like a haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's scarier because there's something that's physically there going to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, both times you're not going to get hurt, but it's it's your adrenaline system doesn't know that.
I've decided while we're talking about this, there's going to be 2 episodes this month of What Game Are You Gaming? Because this is Halloween themed. This is going to go up right around Halloween because we're telling scary
Sounds
stories.
Good. Here's my I've said this before. I don't know if ever on the show. The thing about horror games, though, is the fact that for me at least, once I die the first time, it like
you're not scared.
A big part of like what I'm scared of dissipates. Because like there's one villain in that game who's like this huge guy, and
he's a big fat hulking fuck.
Yeah, and he's all like deformed and disfigured and shit, and he's insane and a mental patient, and he like he killed me at one point and like gotten like jumps into your face. He's like right in the screen. I was like, ah, you know, I jumped and screamed or whatever, and then I died, and I started over, and I'm like, that's the worst that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
like, so it's just like it wears off, but it's still, I don't know, it's still scary, but it's not as much. Like that first half hour of me like walking around in the dark with the night vision, I was fucking like, I was like, I don't know if I can play this.
That's what happened to me. I shut the shit off. I didn't play it again until I was like, Tara and I were talking about playing video games and shit, and I was like, you know what'll be fun is if we play Outlast together. And so we did, and it was a lot of fucking fun. But even still, like parts that I knew that were coming, I was like, ah! Like, they still got me. It was fun. Like the part where you are walking down a hallway and you see a bathroom and you see the break room. And if you're anything like me, the bathroom door comes first. I go into the door that I see first because the break room looks like there could be a problem in there. Like you see a table's tipped over and there's blood on the floor. I was like, And the bathroom door was cracked open. So I was like, I'm going to see what's going on in the bathroom. Maybe there's another way around. I can go through like a vent or some shit. So I go to open the bathroom door and I hear a man in there and the door slams shut. I was like, okay, fuck the bathroom. So I went into the break room and the table was like, one of the legs was out and the other wasn't. So the table was turned into like a ramp and like the ventilation shaft was open and there's blood dripping out of it. But there's nowhere else to go. I was like, okay, we got to go in this bloody vent. This isn't cool, but it's where we need to go. So I go up in the vent, I go one way, dead end, and I turn around and I was like, all right, where am I supposed to go? So I go past the opening where I got in, and I hear the break room, or I hear the bathroom door open, and I was like, oh no. So I keep moving really slowly through the vent, and I look through the little shaft, like window thing, like the grating, and the man who came out of the bathroom is covered in blood, and he's looking for me frantically, because he knows I tried to come in the bathroom. And he's like, like he's all worked up. He's out of his fucking mind. So I sit still until he goes back into the bathroom. And I'm like, let's just keep going through the vent. We don't need to go check the bathroom anymore. Dude, Outlast is a fucking scary game.
But yeah, it is.
I'll tell a scary story. I'm not going to go over it because everybody should know the classic moment from the first Resident Evil. When you're walking through the mansion and you go into the room on the right that's pink, and there's this wallpaper and it's like a really pretty room and there's no enemies in there, and you're like, okay, this is a safe room. Finally, nobody's trying to get me because I only have a couple bullets. So you turn the corner and you hear like a tsk, and it's like glass, like it cracked a little bit, and you're like, and then sometimes you turn around and you're like, fuck this room, never mind. You go around, there's nowhere else to go. So you go back in the pink room, and you're like, okay. So you're walking through, you go past that window, nothing happens. You keep walking through. If you know the secret, you can push a little dresser on the left. There's some pistol ammo under there. So right before you get to like the last corridor of this little hallway, there's a door at the end of it. These fucking dogs burst through the window, and there's like chunks of flesh hanging off of them, and one of them's got one fucking eye. And it's PS1 graphics, so you can't tell. Like, you've created most of these details in your head, but they're ghoulish and they're coming to get you. And if you don't take off, you're fucked right there at the beginning of the game. But the dog bursting through the window in Resident Evil 1 is one of the scariest moments ever. There's that, and then basically the entire game of Dead Space 1.
Dead Space is scary.
Dead Space, I feel like people have forgotten about Dead Space already. Dead Space. People have forgotten about Dead Space already, and that's criminal. Because Dead Space 1 and 2 are classics, some of the best horror games of all time.
Yeah. Dead Space 2, like, that was some criticism, like, it's less horror and more action.
There were still parts that scared the shit out of me.
It's still fucking scary. Remember the eye part?
Yeah. That wasn't scary, that's gory.
It's like, it's like...
Spoilers for a game that came out in 2010. There's a part where you need to drive a needle into your eyeball, like 4 inches deep.
Well, and you have to hit your pupil,
Yeah.
and there's a laser, and his eyes are moving constantly because he's
nervous,
scared.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you miss, the thing just like stabs you in your eye, and just like
Repeatedly looking for the pupil.
Oh my God.
Just shreds your brain.
oh, it's
Dude, the deaths,
brutal.
the kills, the violence of Dead Space, some of the most underrated.
There
shit
was
of all
one
time.
death I saw in Dead Space 1 that I was like, I only saw it one time, and it was these enemies that are pretty easy to take care of.
Yeah. But if they get to you, you're gonna wish they didn't.
So there was this one enemy that it was like a tall, like human shaped thing, but it was like way taller than a human, and it was like skinny, like it didn't have a body. It was like all like it wasn't bones, but
Like
it was
the
like
spine.
soft. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you kill it, like you shoot it, and it breaks apart into all these tiny little like creatures. Like there's one that's like a brain with tentacles, and it's like all these like tentacle shits, and like you have to shoot them individually. Well, one of them got me, and it was the brain with the tentacles, and like it like gets onto your leg and it crawls up you, and the death animation is it crawls up you, somehow like rips your head off, and then the tentacles go into your neck hole.
They snake into the neck hole.
Yeah, and the brain becomes your head, and you just like start walking around with this fucking like parasite that's controlling you. And it's like it like falls, it like leans down, and your hand like puts it back up. It's so fucked up.
Dude, you want to give me an HD version of some shit? Give me Dead Space 1 and 2. Let's pretend Dead Space 3 didn't happen. Give me Dead Space 1 and 2 on PS4. Just put them on the store. Like, barely graphically upgrade them at all. I don't give a fuck. Make them $14.99 a pop. I'll buy them both. I'm not paying... Like, Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Ultimate Alliance 2 went up for $40 a piece. Get the fuck out of my face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But put Dead Space 1 and 2 up for a reasonable price, and I like Dead Island. Those two went up for $20 a pop. I got you.
I platinum Dead Space.
Yeah, that's a hard one. So congratulations.
Dead Space
on that
2
one.
is nearly impossible. Because that's where you have to like, you can only save 3 times on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you die, you go back to your last save. Like, it's...
That's even harder than BioShock.
That's right. Because you can just shut that off.
You could, well, that you can save every 5 minutes.
Right.
Too. But we want to talk about creepy moments in games, doing the whole, like, putting together Sander Cohen's masterpiece in BioShock. One of the creepiest moments ever. Dude, okay, we're like almost 20 minutes in. Let's get to the topic of this episode of What Game Are You Gaming? The Halloween-themed episode for the first portion, but also top 5 games of the last generation. PS3, Wii, Xbox 360. You know what? Fuck Wii. I didn't play enough Wii games. There were
I don't
great
think
games
any of
on
us
there.
have those, so...
No, I have one, but my dog pissed on it.
No, I mean on our list.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't want to exclude it based on, like, Nintendo sucks. No, there was great games on Wii. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let's start with our honorable mentions. You know what I'm saying? These we don't have to go into balls deep detail for. I've got a couple I can throw out.
I got some.
As far as honorable mentions go. I'm going to throw God of War 3 on the list.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that one.
Give me one of yours.
This bear, like...
Let me go into one little bit of detail. God of War 3, at the time, and for years after, was the best-looking video game I had ever played.
So this game, this was a hard one not to put on the list, on the top 5 list, but I'll explain why in a minute. This is probably on yours, but The Last of Us is an honorable mention.
I think, yeah, I have it as an honorable mention.
Oh, okay,
too.
cool.
Like, it's one of the best fucking games of the generation.
Absolutely.
But I think a lot of people know that, and I'm trying to be a little more original with my list.
I'm trying to be more original. So I went into, like, my list is a combination of my favorite games and what I just think are the best games. And, like, that's also, like, it's ranked that way. It's not ranked specifically to, like, my feelings towards them. And the Last of Us, why it got cut was the story in that game is amazing, and the gameplay is really fun, but I don't look back at that game and be like, oh my god, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I look back at it and be like, that was an amazing experience and an amazing story, and it was it was fun to get through, but it wasn't like all my memories are about the story, and they're not about like the actual moment to moment gameplay. So that's basically why it didn't make.
Give me another one of yours.
BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what's to say? It was I loved the story of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a big fan of BioShock 2, so I liked that this was a completely new story, unconnected, a new environment. It built off, I thought the gameplay built off BioShock 1. I love mixing it up with the guns and the special powers, but it's a little bit more action, more first person shootery.
I got a couple quick fire ones for you. Walking Dead Season 1 from Telltale.
Yeah, I thought about that.
It was great, but it's a honorable mention for me. It doesn't fall in my top 5, but it was great.
Mm-hmm.
LA Noire.
My god, LA Noire is amazing.
That was something that came out that was a new thing that nobody had ever done. It's detective work, it's investigative, and your main objectives come down to interrogating someone and coming to your conclusion based on the effort you put in at the crime scene, how well you paid attention, and their body language.
Figuring out, and you have to figure out if they're lying or not.
And I proudly platinumed LA Noire, and I wish they would have made a sequel.
I would love another game like that.
They did 2 pieces of DLC that were 1 mission apiece.
But they were I think there were 3.
3, okay.
Because I played the first time I played it was the like Game of the Year edition or the complete edition. And that was really cool because they were just mixed in with the rest of the story. They were substantial though. Yeah. Like they were longer than the regular.
I thought they weren't. The act structure of it was great. You started as just like a street cop, and then you got to like the arson desk, and then you were like promoted to detective. Those were like the 3 acts of the game. Dude, I could play that game again because my memory's bad, and I don't remember who the killer was. Was there one overarching killer through the whole game? For like a main storyline? I can't
remember because
we don't even know.
Like I know there were 3 arcs. I do know because like I think the middle arc was like murder. Like you were a murder detective, and then I think
it was like a Hollywood starlet who seemed like she might be full of
shit. I think if this might be a spoiler, but it might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
I think like
don't say anything because I think I know where you're going. DanDan, if you haven't played LA Noire, it's story based. Go play LA Noire. You can probably get it on Amazon for like $4 right now.
Yeah, probably. I would love to get another game like that.
I'll throw 2 more out. Infamous 1 and 2.
Yep.
Both fantastic. The Arkham trilogy.
I got Arkham as an honorable mention.
City, Asylum, and Origins.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we'll call the trilogy because Night was on PS4. Night is also the worst of them. It's least best.
I didn't play Origins.
I didn't either, but I don't count it. And I will throw Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning and Mortal Kombat 9 in my honorable mentions. Mortal Kombat 9, if you're an old school MK fan like me, they retell everything from the first 3 games and they retcon the whole thing. They go back and they show an alternate way that Jax wound up with steel arms. They show, so many callbacks to just like if you played Mortal Kombat 2 in arcades in like 1995 in the Living Forest level, like every once in a while, Smoke would poke his head out from behind a tree, and you'd be like, "Who the fuck was that?" And then there's a scene in Mortal Kombat 9 where like 2 guys, like Liu Kang and Raiden, those first guys I thought of, they're walking through the Living Forest level, and they're arguing about something like, well, we need to go get Shao Kahn from here. No, we should flank him from behind. And then Smoke gets introduced into the chapter, but he's been following them the whole time, watching them from behind the trees. And it's the perfect callback to like 20 years ago of Smoke looking from behind the tree. But if you didn't play it in the mid-90s in arcades, you didn't know how important that was, of just him looking from behind a tree. Oh man, I don't know if anything will ever hit me nostalgically the way Mortal Kombat 9 did. That it's so good.
Yeah.
And a great roster too.
My
My other honorable mention, I have a feeling, is on your list, so I'm not going to use it.
I have 2 more honorable mentions. Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, that's number 5 on my list.
Okay.
But I had audibles, but my audible for that was Dead Space.
Okay. And South Park: The Stick of Truth as an honorable mention.
Great game.
That was never gonna make the list. I knew that, but I had to mention it because that game was like nobody expected that to be as good as it was.
No, fuck no.
You know, like, because I mean, it was so fucking funny, and funny on so many layers, because like it like had like there were jokes within the game mechanics and stuff. It was just so clever and so smart, and the writing and it was fucking fun.
Yeah,
like the gameplay is really fun.
It is. It's a
Like,
turn-based
the-
RPG.
yeah, it's so-
Who the fuck saw that coming?
Oh, it's
the N64 game for South Park. It was first person. You'd pick up a snowball, piss on it, and throw it.
But see, that's the thing. It's brilliant because what, like, you can't have an action South Park game.
Oh, and dude, just it being like a 2D open world RPG, let you walk around the entire
It
city.
felt like it, and like it looked just like the show. Like it.
I hear the Simpsons game was actually really good too. The one that came out around the movie.
Hit and Run?
No, it's called The Simpsons Game.
Oh.
Or The Simpsons the Game. The
'Cause
Simpsons video game.
Because Simpsons Hit and Run was fun.
It was GTA 3 with Simpsons.
Yeah, it was fucking fun. I never owned it. I just rented it. And
I still have my save file for that on
Really?
my PS2 memory card. September 13th, 2003 is
Yeah.
the last time I played that game, which is 12 years ago now. Yeah?
That's
14. No,
that's
14?
crazy.
So-
Maybe, I don't know.
Wait, I don't know how to do math.
Let's get a HD remake of Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, dude.
I would play that.
That would be awesome.
I would
as
play
shit.
that.
It would skip an entire generation.
So there's PS2 games. Well, no, I don't know that there have been for PS4 yet.
No, they've
but-
like put them. They've slightly up-res them a little bit and put
Yeah.
them on PS4. They did it with the Grand Theft Auto games. But if they did the Grand Theft Auto games, why can't they do his Simpsons Hit and Run? Who made that?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I feel like IDOS is in my head.
Who made? It's probably the same people who made the driving one, like the Crazy Taxi version with the Simpsons. What was that called? Simpsons Road Rage.
Yeah, but I don't know who made it.
I mean, it
Was
had
it
to
never? Look it up. Look up Simpsons Hit and Run. If it's Neversoft, they're out of business. So it definitely wouldn't have been them. But while you are looking that up, I'll jump into my list. Number 5 top games of the last generation. I had Red Dead Redemption. You spoiled it a little bit because you threw it in your honorable mentions. Red Dead from Rockstar. What, dude? I was gonna say one of the greatest games of all time, but obviously that's why it's on my fucking list. That game is just so good. And people, like, I know Greg Miller says that he fell off of that game when you went to Mexico. I didn't even come close to falling off when you went into the second act. I didn't enjoy the Mexico part as much, but I was like, okay, let's get through this to find out where we go. And Red Dead just had such highs from a storytelling standpoint to where you would accomplish something and you would feel like, fuck yeah, I'm redeeming this guy. I'm bringing him back. And then something would happen and you would feel so low. Like I worked so hard and now this shit happens. I was so invested in that game. One of the most beautiful open worlds I've ever seen, which is funny because it's a barren desert for most of it. Like that was one of the first games ever that I stopped and got off my horse and looked around at like how pretty the shit was. And then I got killed by a mountain lion. And dude, mountain lions were the scariest enemy in that game because if they got a hold of you, it was over.
I mean, basically, if you saw
bears, too.
one, you were pretty much fucked.
Yeah,
because
unless you
it's
were
hard to get
already
away.
speeding on your horse.
Yeah.
Dude, how crazy was it in Red Dead towards the end? This is barely a spoiler. When you get in a car for the first time, and they're like, "We've been working on this thing, and it's a car," and you're like, "Whoa!"
Wait,
and the car
kinda remember
sucks.
that.
Like your horse is way better.
Do you drive it?
Yeah, it's like at the end.
I don't remember that.
You either drive it or you're sitting in the back seat and you're like covering.
I remember riding in a car, but I don't
It
remember
sucked.
driving.
Like the
a car.
wheels were made of wood and you're on a dirt road. But I platinumed Red Dead. It's one of my most proud plats ever. I think I've told the story on this show of leveling up online, I would just grind the same warehouse over and over, an enemy hideout, to where you would get a set amount of time to do it, and you had to kill everyone who was there. And Tim and I, Bathroom Money, looked up online what was the smallest hideout that gave you the best XP per like second of work. And we figured out how to clear this one hideout in about 48 seconds to kill all the guys. By showing up, throwing dynamite in a certain place, the guys would funnel out to the left. You'd kill all of them over there. There's a guy up in the window on the right, and there's 2 guys that come from around the left side of the barn. And we could do it all in like 48 seconds to a minute. And I would play this game for hours, just that hideout, over and over while listening to Eminem's Recovery album. Just on repeat. And that's why I know every word to every song on Recovery. And oh, dude, I wouldn't trade that for anything. That was so much fun.
When do you think the next one's coming out?
Red Dead?
Yeah.
This year.
You think it's going to release this year?
Dude, no.
But they'll announce it this year?
It might be some fucking weird February shit.
Who knows?
Like, they're getting bold now. Like, Dying Light came out in January and was a runaway hit because nothing competed with it.
Yeah.
And I think even not that
Red
Rockstar
Dead
has anything to be afraid of.
Can compete with anything.
But they could just be good guy Rockstar and put it out in a dead zone when
why not?
You don't have anything to play.
Yeah, why even bother trying to compete with anything?
But yeah, Red Dead Redemption's number 5 on my
Red Dead is fantastic.
Best games of all time, last generation.
Before I get to my list, Simpsons Hit and Run was developed by Radical Entertainment. Never even heard of that.
Click on their profile and see what else they've made.
The publisher is Vivendi.
Which Vivendi is right now trying to reacquire Ubisoft. There's like a big lawsuit.
Yeah.
Not lawsuit, but like a hostile takeover going on there.
Yeah.
Click on Radical.
What
else did they develop?
Their products, the Simpsons series, Prototype series, and the Crash Bandicoot series, but 2005 to 2010.
The bad ones.
So the shit ones.
So they were like a lower level, like AA developer.
Licensed stuff, you know. I mean, Prototype was new IP, but
it ate shit compared to Infamous.
Yeah. Like
Prototype came out and people were just like, this could have been good. And then Prototype 2 came out and they were just like, well, guys, you tried. So give me number 5. Best games of all time, last generation.
Far Cry 3.
Ooh, I didn't even think about Far Cry 3. That's a great pick, dude.
It's fucking, I love, this is a game I played Far Cry 3 after I had a PS4.
Yeah.
Because the E3 trailer for Far Cry 4 came out. And I'm like, that looks amazing. I want that game right now. Well, I can't have it right now. The next best thing is Far Cry 3, which I never played, but I've heard is great.
And you watched me play it, and I put it over big time.
And like, it was a game that when it was like a thing, I didn't care about it at all. Like, I was not interested in it at all. But I played it, and I just fucking absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
The story is great. Well, I mean, the story's not great. It's not great, but it's
great
good enough where it's like I care about what I'm doing. Like I'm not just doing it to play the game. Like for like, you know, you're like a preppy, like you're a 20-year-old kid.
You're a rich kid.
Who gets kidnapped by pirates, and he's going and trying to like rescue all his friends from the pirates and stuff. The heals are good. But what's so cool about it is it's an open world game. It's a truly open world game. Got a lot of RPG elements. It's not like super deep, you know, but you can you level up your skills. You know, you have to hunt to like level up your equipment better. And
I'd say it's pretty fucking deep, dude.
It is.
It's just not deep, like Demon Souls deep, where you need to like...
And that's all I mean.
Kill this guy 800 times to get him to drop the pure silver thing so you can craft a certain thing.
It's like...
Far Cry is pretty fucking deep.
It is deep.
Yeah.
And there's a shitload to do in it, because there's like the story missions are really fun. There's like a ton of outposts. It's just like...
You clear out the enemy hideouts. You can race.
Yeah.
You can hunt.
And what's so special about that game is I feel like a lot of times, and it's a first person shooter. And I feel like a lot of times when a game is that large and there's that much shit to do. First, like the core mechanics of like the shooting kind of suffer a little bit. Like when you think about like Fallout,
Yeah.
like the shooting's off a little bit.
Sucks in Fallout 3.
Yeah,
Fallout 4 fixed it.
Fallout 3, but even in Fallout 4, it's way better, but it's still off a little bit. It's still not quite like Far Cry 3, like shooting mechanics are on par with Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's nothing. It's perfect, and to nail both of those aspects, like I can't think of any other game or any other series that has, because most of the time games like that are like big open world where a lot of things, you know, Colin Moriarty calls them like the checkbox games, which I like, where there's just like a ton of shit on the map to do and you can slowly like take over different areas and, you know, check the boxes. And a lot of times those are like third person games. Yeah. Like the big open world sandboxes are like GTA and stuff like that. Infamous. Yeah. Infamous. Where I can't really think of anything else that nails that big open world, because I love like first person, like I really like that mechanic of it just feels right when it's good. But most of the time first person shooters are just like get to this, like they're just levels, you know, just like, oh, like go to this room, clear everybody out, go to this room, clear everybody out, like Doom. That's basically what Doom is. Doom's awesome, but Far Cry has a better hook for me, where so
yeah. Far Cry 3 is a great pick. 3. And Far Cry 3, fantastic. As far as I remember, was the first game that had trippy moments of like like almost like your character had taken psychedelics. In Far Cry 3, he did take psychedelics, but like Uncharted started to do it. Uncharted started the trend of blockbuster movie moments of like climbing up the train that's falling off the side of the mountain. You're on the train and there's a helicopter coming to get you. Every game started to try to be Uncharted. Spec Ops The Line tried to do it. Dead Space 3 straight up tried to do it. It was dog shit. There were so many games that copied that. After Far Cry 3 did this psychedelic shit, so many games started to copy Far Cry 3 to the point that I was like, not every game needs this. I know you played Far Cry 3. Yeah. I did too. But I'm not trying to play Far Cry 3 right now.
There's a D Antwoord song in it?
Yes. Fucking D Antwoord. Dude, Far Cry 3 is so good. And yeah, DanDan's go on Amazon, man. You probably get it for like $8. Yeah. It's so good. Or I hear Far Cry 4 is great too, but I've got better shit to say about 3 because I played 3.
I played Far Cry 4, and to be fair, I didn't finish it. I wasn't feeling it that much. To be fair, part of it is that like I played Far Cry 3 just a couple months before, and I platinumed it. So I started playing Far Cry 4, and it was more the same, which is fine because Far Cry is great. But I was like, I feel like I just did all this, and I don't really feel like playing this game again. Also, the story wasn't as good.
Yeah, the villain was he was hokey.
The villain was okay.
He was kind of Bond villainy.
I was interested in the villain, but like the Far Cry 3 story is like it's life or death, and like you're gonna die, and your friends are gonna die unless you help them. Far Cry 4, if I remember correctly, like you go to visit this island because it was like your mother died. And like she was like a native of this place, and but you're from, you know, like America. You're just like I mean that's kind of what Far Cry is. Usually you're a guy who, and there's like this like civil war going on, like a rebellion, and you just like start to fucking fight with the rebels like for no real reason. Yeah. I was just like, why is he helping? Yeah. Why doesn't he just get on a plane and leave?
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, he doesn't have to be here.
At the end, you can make a decision to be like, no, I found myself, and this is my calling. I'm not that rich kid, blah, blah. I'm a warrior. It's like, okay, dude. Your girlfriend's hot as fuck. What are you talking about? Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, Far Cry 3,
I was talking about 3. I went back to 3.
Well, so there's two endings. where
Don't spoil the end. I just told him to play it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to my number
what's
4.
number 4?
But I feel like my number 4 is gonna be on your list.
We're probably gonna have a few overlaps.
I have audibles for everything on my list.
Okay.
So my number 4 is BioShock.
Okay.
Is that on your list?
Yes.
Okay. So my number 4.
I bet I will. I'm gonna say that we have 2 games in common.
Probably. My number 4 is gonna be. I'll just go with one in the series. I'll go with the first one because it's what laid the foundation. My number 4 is Skate.
Oh,
Now,
shit.
I am a PlayStation kid through and through. I grew up after NES and Genesis, PS 1, 2, 3. Never strayed. I got the other in-betweens, you know what I'm saying? I fucks with a GameCube, I fucks with a 360 a little bit. I actually think I'm going to buy another 360. Dude, I could get one for $40. You know what I'm saying? Like, why fuck around? I grew up with Tony Hawk. Growing up, me, Hefe, Shahir Ass, Bathroom Money, like Bobby Morrissey, all my buddies, we grew up playing Tony Hawk. And the soundtracks are legendary to this day. The gameplay, I think IGN gave Tony Hawk 2 a 9.7. Because back then it was just like, there were no games that had that arcade quality. Of just
dude.
like, you could hand the controller to your dad and he would be like, oh, I got 500. And then he'd be like, I wonder if I could get 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you can figure that game out. The Tony Hawk games 1 through 3 were all fantastic. I didn't play 4. And then they went off the rails with Underground 2, American Wasteland.
I liked Underground, but they weren't
Thug
the
and
same.
Thug 2 were fucking great games, but they started to go off the rails. American Wasteland I did not enjoy.
I didn't play that one.
And then Proving Ground was bullshit. Project 8 was bullshit. Like, Tony Hawk fell the fuck off. But I grew up
like
with
the
those
most
games.
recent one.
We don't need to talk about that. I've tested it at work a few times, testing out systems. It's so bad. It is so bad. I don't want it to be bad.
No?
Like, I'm not a guy who heard the hype about, like, you guys want to gang up on this game? Tony Hawk 5 sucks. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, they put out the Tony Hawk HD, like, remix.
You said that was really
a couple
good.
of years ago. I platinumed it. One of the hardest platinums I have. Because it's
Bet that
100% skill, and it's 100% skill-based. And you need to be really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And I played my ass off. One of the best moments ever in gaming came from that game, where Tim was trying so hard to get the platinum. It was me, you, Tim, and his girlfriend at the time. And
I think it was Miranda.
Was it Miranda?
Yeah.
It was me,
it was
you,
Miranda.
Tim, and Miranda, Mrs. Bathroom Money.
Yeah.
And he was trying so hard to get this high score, and he had like 2 seconds left, and he needed like 20,000 points. So he did like a special into a grind, into a kickflip, into a manual, into a kickflip, into a nose manual. He's getting his multiplier up, makes the cut, and we celebrate. He literally hugged us both and started like humping the table and everything. Miranda's freaking out. And it didn't register his final trick because he started it too late or something. He got fucked. He didn't get the trophy.
It was like a combo or something. Yeah.
And he smoked so many cigarettes because he was so stressed out.
I remember he was like, I think Miranda was like in the bathroom when it happened, and she came out after it didn't work, and he was just like, Miranda didn't count my thing. Like, he wasn't even mad. He was just like so defeated and sad.
Because
Like,
it's so hard.
he wasn't
dude.
even like, oh, that was so funny.
That game was so hard to platinum. But
Talk about skate though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that sort of gameplay mixed with skating, because I do love skating. I've never been any good at it, but the games I was good at. Like, I could live vicariously through skaters by playing the video games. Skate comes out on PS3 in like 2008, completely revolutionizes the way skateboard games are played. It's no longer X is ollie, square does your flip tricks, circle does your grab tricks, triangles grind. Everything was mapped to the right stick. Like, you had to basically draw what you wanted your feet to do on the right stick with your thumb to do that trick. And it was insane. Whoever came up with that, dude, I think it was EA Black Box. Who doesn't exist anymore. They don't exist anymore. Those fucking games are so good, and I have poured hundreds of hours into them. And every time I need to test a PS3 or a 360 at work, I go right to Skate 3.
Nice.
Because there's like a 30-second install. I get to test all the buttons, and I get to test the sticks, and I just get to play Skate for like 5 minutes. And I will never not jump at that opportunity. DanDan's Get Skate 1, 2, and 3, they're all probably like $6 on Amazon. That's the best part about talking about last generation.
Mm-hmm.
These games aren't worth dick right now.
Yeah, for sure.
They will be. They will be eventually.
Definitely.
But yeah, number 4, because I audibled because BioShock's on your list. I'll go Skate 1.
All right. Number 4 for me.
You want to just do BioShock?
Yeah,
We
sure.
can break the order.
Sure.
Because we talked about it.
Yeah. So I didn't know who's gonna start.
Like, it's your number 4, dog.
Oh, I see what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually my number 3. I just want to state that.
We're audibling.
But yeah, we'll break the order. BioShock, like the game. The thing that stands out to me is like the gameplay is amazing. It's fun. It's original. It's creative. It's the first game I feel like BioShock, in a similar way where you talked about like the psychedelic thing. I feel like a lot of games were trying to do what BioShock did with like first person shooting and like
an ability.
Yeah.
BioShock has the plasmids. You can shock people, you can send bees at them.
And I've never played anything like that before. I like Infamous, but Infamous is just powers. It's just like the electric
it's completely
powers.
Different.
Yeah.
It's open world third person.
Yeah, no, I know, but when I was thinking about like superpowers, I jumped to Infamous, but no one else was thinking that. But yeah, I never played anything like that and then you could like mix them where like certain thing like you would do something and that would weaken them to like the wrench was super useful because you would like electrocute someone and then hit them with the wrench and fucking kill them. Like it was so great
because you hit someone in the head with a wrench.
Yeah,
like, let's not fuck around.
The story was amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's like super smart, like very like.
Would you kindly not spoil anything?
As a kid, I mean, not a kid, but I was probably in high school when I played that, or maybe.
Came out in 2007 on 360.
Yeah,
Isn't it? Dude, that game's almost 10 years old.
Yeah, I was definitely in high school then. It's like it was probably like, it was a little bit over my head, like all the themes they were talking about, but like the atmosphere is what stands out to me. Like that game I would not call that game a horror game at all.
No.
Like that's not in the horror genre at all, but it's fucking scary.
Yeah. It was like the first game that I ever played that had elements of like horror movies from like the 50s.
Yes.
In it, to where you'd walk down a hallway and you wouldn't see a Resident Evil like someone tearing through the body of someone else and it's just like, oh, he's in pieces and that man's covered in blood. I need to kill that guy. You would walk down a hallway worrying about the sound that your feet are making in the water because there's a shadow on the wall of a man who's in the next room. And then you'd be like, I wonder if I move quietly, the splashes, and then he'll look over because he heard the splash. And then when he runs down the hallway, like the sound effect that's there isn't like a dun dun dun. It's like someone running their fingers across the high end of a piano.
Yeah.
It's like it was very old school horror.
Well, the whole game, like the whole aesthetic is very like 1950s. I mean, I think that's kind of the timeline it takes place in. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember exactly. Which is awesome. And just, I mean, it takes place in a desolate city underneath the ocean. And that's just scary. Like,
and it's not like it's like Outlast. It's not an abandoned city.
No, nobody got out.
It was once extremely peaceful, and it was just like, oh, this is the ideal.
Nobody ever left.
The people on the surface don't understand. We've got this is perfection down here, and we've developed superpowers. We are ahead of everything. Human beings can't sustain that, and they all lost their fucking minds. Oh, and they're all like the enemies aren't. They're not zombies who shamble towards you. They're highly intelligent. They've just gone completely mad, and their fucking teeth are falling out. Some of their arms are broken because they've been fighting with the other weirdos around them. Like, I can't think of an enemy in that game that can't be explained. You know what I mean? Like, the Houdini splicers can disappear and come up somewhere else, but that's one of the abilities that Andrew Ryan invented.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Daddies are just modified humans that were like an experiment. The regular splicers are just people who have lost their fucking minds, who are basically like methed out drug addicts because they keep shooting up too much atom. It all makes sense. There's not just like some random monster. And when you're down there, because Rapture is a city underwater, if you've never played BioShock, shut this fucking show off right now and go get it. But you'll be walking through like a bridge. It's like a hallway, but it's really a bridge from the outside, from one building to another of Rapture. So all around you is glass, and you where you just came from was a fucking war zone where you just had to kill 10 people who were out of their minds. You don't know where you're headed, but right now you're just in this glass tube in the ocean. And for 1 second you look around and you just see like a whale go underneath you, and you're like, that was fucking beautiful. This is a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walk into the next room and there's just more chaos and violence waiting to happen, and you're like, oh, I just want to go back in the hallway.
Yeah.
Dude, BioShock gives you a feeling that nothing else can give you, other than maybe like BioShock Infinite. And even that didn't match it. You ready for my number 3?
Yeah.
Now, my number 3 is something that's definitely on your list, so I'm going to use my Audible.
Okay.
And this is a game that it's not one of the best games from like a storytelling standpoint. The story was fucking cool, but it's not up to the level of like a Metal Gear Solid 4, which is nowhere near my list or anything. But just gameplay wise, it was so good. I've beaten it twice. Is fucking Devil May Cry. DMC, the reboot, is so good.
Yeah,
that game is so good.
It was really good.
It was so good that like when they announced they were doing it and they showed the new Dante, and he looked like Edward Roberts. What's Twilight?
Oh, yeah.
Edward Cullen.
Cullen?
He was all emo, and he had black eyeliner, he had black hair. That's what pissed people off. Like, Dante's got white hair. Why's you gotta be emo twice? It's like, first of all, relax.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, give it a chance. The game comes out, it was funny. Right in the beginning, there's this giant devil monster that knocks your trailer over, and you're butt-ass naked because you were banging chicks the night before, and there's booze and pizza all over your trailer. You're naked, and you dive out the window, and the only thing that blocks your dick is a hot dog that's, like, flying through, barely covers your dick. You're, like, squatting down, you pick up your sword, and there's, like, a pizza box in front of your butt. So it's funny.
It's like an Austin Powers bit.
It's funny. It's scary. Some of the best gameplay I've ever played in any game.
Dude,
the combo system, the weapon switching system. Get the fuck out of here.
One thing that sticks out to me is the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
The bosses, like the enemy design and the bosses,
and the level design too,
were so interesting and so cool. And that was one of those games, similar to God of War, where it's like when you kill a boss, you're like really satisfied. Mm-hmm. Not just because you like beat this challenge, but because you fucking hate them.
You hated them.
Yeah.
The bosses were so vile.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the boss fights and the creature design and everything. The creature design is crazy. But the level design, probably one of the best pieces of level design I've ever played in a game is in DMC, where you go to like a disco to take out the main heel, his wife. And we'll talk about her in a second, but just like the disco, DMC has this thing that's kind of like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. There's an alternate version of the real world. Mm-hmm. So this disco turns into a hell disco, and the fucking floor is breaking. And when the floor turns blue, you have to use your blue weapons, because otherwise you won't be able to damage the enemies. When it turns red, you need to use your red weapons, or else you can't damage the enemies. And then the disco ball / like LED floor panels break off, and they go up into the air, and now it's a platforming level. So you need to platform just to get to the next room, which she turns into a game show. Like, can you kill 50 monsters inside of 2 minutes? It's so good, dude. DMC
crazy.
is so good. It's actually, I had it at number 2 on my list, but I dropped it to number 3 just for the sake of changing up the theme a little bit, because my next one's an RPG, and we talk a lot about RPGs. But, dude, I'll play that game again. And I don't think Ninja Theory is even working on Devil May Cry 2 right now. I think they're working on something else that I can't remember what it is. Are they doing Neo?
I have no idea.
Let me look that up real quick. Tell me about DMC for a second.
Yeah, you were talking about the different colored weapons. That I totally forgot about that aspect of it, because you basically had 3 different weapons. You had just like a physical sword and like guns, and then you had a demon weapon and an angel weapon. Because if I remember correctly, Dante is like a Nephilim, which is
an angel and demon hybrid.
Yes. So you have the powers of both of them, and there's like certain enemies that you have to kill with your angel weapon. There's certain enemies that you can only kill with your demon weapon. But there's other enemies that can get killed by both, and you get like, it's like super satisfying to like switch them up in a different in the middle of a battle, and
keep talking.
I can't watching that. I can't. But the best thing about it is it's just like super intuitive. I think like you just hold down L2 and that like pulls out your demon weapon, and R2 pulls out your angel weapon, and then like the face buttons are all the like combos and stuff. It's just super like
there's never been
it's super fluid. It just felt really right.
See, what happened was I took out my phone to Google Ninja Theory and what they're working on, and then I just did something else.
Yeah, I got that.
I forgot that I was supposed to be Googling Ninja Theory. So I'm looking them up right now. I got that spinning loading bar. You know what I'm saying?
I hate that thing.
I do too. Okay, it broke for a second. DanDan's Never Fear. Because the Ninja Theory. Fucking shit! Well, this is embarrassing. Okay, games developed. They did Kung Fu Chaos on Xbox.
Okay.
Heavenly Sword on PS3. Enslaved, which didn't go over well. DMC in 2013. Blah, 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 blah. Their next game coming out is a PS4 exclusive. I guess it's on PC too, called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Which I think at E3 a couple years ago they showed something for, and I was like, that looks cool. And then they showed the Ninja Theory logo, and I was like, oh, bummer, it's not DMC 2.
Yeah.
I'd suck a dick for
DMC 2. I would be into a sequel to that.
Give me your number 3.
So this is my number 4. But
for the sake of
talked about number 3 already. GTA 5.
Okay. I had that on my honorable mentions, but I didn't include it because I had a feeling it was on your list.
I was thinking I wanted to put GTA 5 or Red Dead on my top 5. I didn't know which one to go with. I kind of figured Red Dead might be on your list and that we'd cover it. But I also honestly just think GTA 5 is better suited for my list.
Do you like GTA 5 better? I don't, so I'm just asking your opinion. I would play Red Dead a million times over.
It's hard. It's hard to say that like I like it better. They're pretty damn close. But this is why. Let me just explain why I put GTA 5 on the list. So I love Grand Theft Auto games. I think on the episode we just recorded, because spoilers, we recorded 2 episodes back to back. I talked about Mafia 3, and like I bought Mafia 3 because like I was feeling a game like that, like similar to GTA. But GTA does it so much better than anybody else.
By far.
GTA is great because it's just fun to be a bad guy and not have any decisions to make about like, should I be the bad guy or should I be the good guy? Because for me, I always even when I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna do a bad guy run, I always end up leaning towards like the good guy thing.
That's why I like when there's a trophy for a good guy run and a bad
Yeah.
guy run, because I have a reason to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm playing a character.
Right.
To where I do, like, the bad decision will come up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to kill his dog.
Exactly. And so GTA 5, it's just like, it's so fun to just embrace it. And so when GTA 5 like was announced, I got super excited, and it's by far the best GTA game I've ever played.
Without a fucking doubt.
And what
GTA 4 is not that good, first of all.
It's not. I mean, the gameplay is good. Like it's GTA.
You came up with a topic for another episode, which is going to be most overrated games. GTA 4 is going to be on.
I that's fair, because it's GTA. It's a good game, but it's not great. Because the story's not good.
Dude, it got so many 10s.
I don't care. Like, I didn't care about the characters in it.
Fuck no, dude. I've said this before. When Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto 4. I need to get through this. They won't be linked, but I want to play it anyway.
There's some references. But it's just
cares?
like,
I never fully got through it, so I was like, I'm gonna play GTA 4 finally, and because I had gotten like 6 hours in before it fell off. I got about 6 or 7 hours in, and I was like, oh, I forgot this game sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the story of this game, I couldn't give less of a fuck. The characters are uninteresting. I don't want to help any of these people. They're all trash.
Well, it's... The characters are uninteresting, but there's also a problem that GTA has where the character conflicts with what you're doing. Where, like, it always seems like, I think it's Nico in GTA 4, is like, he's like, the story starts with like him wanting to be like, get out of a life of crime, but he like gets sucked back into it, but then he's like just murdering hundreds of people, and like cutscenes happen. It's like, this is not the same guy that's doing these actions. Where GTA 5, the characters totally like embraced it. Like, Trevor is just a complete psychopath. Michael, who's the older guy with the family, he's like a retired bank robber, but he's got no fucking morals. Franklin is like the most moral of the guys, but he's like a small-time thug that wants to get big time. Like, they all are interested in being criminals. And
yeah,
I honestly, like, I loved those characters. Like, it was like the best crime. Like, it was just such a good crime story. And like, when I say that I really love those characters, it's not in the same way that I love a character like Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us, or Nathan Drake and Elena, where you like have you like, I like them in the same way that I like Walter White and Tony Soprano, and like, it's fun to like root for these like bad guys sometimes in the protagonist, and they were interesting and they were funny, and at the same time, even though you know they're fucking terrible people, you also like them in...
You want Michael to get back on top because you're like, oh, he's still got it in him.
Yeah,
you want Franklin to be a murderer because you're just like, he's got to get out of that bad neighborhood.
But you're sympathetic to them too.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
you're on their side.
Yeah, and it's like Trevor is super deep because he's like, he's insane, and he just like will kill anybody, but he's super loyal to his friends.
The biggest problem with Grand Theft Auto 5 story mode, and I'm gonna 30 seconds of spoilers right here, is the fact that at the end you have the choice to kill one guy, the other guy, or sacrifice yourself. I would guarantee that the kill one guy or the other guy percentages are in the low double digits.
Right.
I guarantee everyone was just like, no, them's my boys. We've been through this.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to pull it off.
Yeah,
that was such a mistake. Like, I know they wanted to have the happy ending option, but should Grand Theft Auto 5 have a happy ending? Scratch what I just said. They can do whatever they want.
I loved the happy ending.
I know, and that's what I...
It was so satisfying.
Obviously, I wanted it. That's why I chose it. So I guess points to them for not pigeonholing us and themselves. But
I was fine with the choice. I was fine with it.
Okay, yeah, scratch what I said. I just feel like it was a way out. It wasn't a cop out because it was still a fun option, but it was a way out of, like, they made everything so heavy, and then they basically told you just like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and there's a point in GTA 5 where I was like, I loved Trevor. Mm-hmm. Trevor was like I just loved playing as him. I loved doing his story missions because he was just so off the wall. And then there's a point.
You can see what it is. It came out a couple years ago, guys.
There's a point he does something.
What do you do?
There's like one of his like hillbilly friends.
Yeah, Cletus or whatever.
Yeah, something has a cousin. And you like crash at his house and you like ruin his fucking house and you like fuck his teddy bear.
Jerk off at his teddy bear.
you fuck the eye socket of the teddy bear.
You can see cum on it. Like it's nasty.
And the eye is out, like implying that Trevor you don't actually do it, but like it's implied that you. And his wife Deborah is out of town for like a week, and this guy is obviously like a complete like pushover. Like his wife controls him, and he's like freaking out because when his wife gets back, he's gonna see the house in just disarray. And there's a part where she comes back, and it's Trevor, the wife, and the dude. And she's freaking out on Trevor, and the dude's freaking out because
he's getting yelled at.
He thinks his wife is gonna leave him, and Trevor's freaking out because he's insane, and like he's just getting like, and he says I don't know, he says something at one point, and then it just like fades to black, and then it cuts to the door from like outside, and Trevor just exits, and he's drenched in blood. And I was like, oh my God, like I felt guilty for rooting for this guy, because up until that point he was killing shitty people just like
drug
just like him. I mean, you kill cops and like you can run people over, but like as far as like the story goes, like everyone he was killing are also like equally bad. These were just like innocent people.
And this innocent woman wasn't home, came home, saw you wrecked her house, and was like, you wrecked my house, and Trevor killed her.
Yeah, like that's like the most fucked up thing in a GTA game, because it was like that's really fucked up. And they were like, it wasn't just, that's the thing, when you kill someone in GTA, they're just a fucking NPC, like a person on the street. Like you can kill 50,000 people in that game. They're not characters. There's not like we knew who these people were.
Yeah,
and they were just like brutally murdered. Grand
Theft Auto 5 was the first GTA game I've ever beaten. It was the first one that hooked me.
Really?
That I cared about the story. The other ones, it was just, this is a fun chaos machine.
Yeah.
Tara loves GTA 5. DanDan's youtube.com/616entertainment. Watch Tara play Grand Theft Auto 5. It's so much fun just to watch people play Grand Theft Auto 5.
And just, and like, I didn't even mention this. Just the mechanic of having 3 different playable characters. And jumping back and forth between them. That's so revolutionary. Like, were you laughing because I'm burping?
You're burping so much. You burped 3 times in that sentence. Fucking burp boy. What time is it for me to go on my next one? Not clockwise. Am I on number 3? Or am I on number 2?
Fuck.
Because I did Red Dead.
You did.
I did Skate.
You're on number 2. You're on
number
number 2.
2.
You started.
Okay, I have 3 more to do, but I don't know if one of them is going to be on your list, so I might have a tag on at the end.
All right, let's get through this.
My number 2, I'm looking at Mass Effect 2.
Ooh, nice.
Mass Effect 2 is so fucking good.
I thought about mentioning
it. Was a game that, like, Mass Effect was on the 360 and PC, and it was published by Microsoft, and I didn't really care. And then it was coming to PS3, Mass Effect 2 was, and I was just like, oh shit, this looks good. Like, I never even looked into Mass Effect because I was never going to have a chance to play it. I'm a PS3 guy. Mass Effect 2 gets announced, it's going to be on why do I keep doing that? It's going to be on PS3, and I was like, okay, it's time to look into this. And it comes out, and I bought it, and it's so good. One of my favorite games ever. It was in my top 5 ever, not even just of this console generation. And just the connections that you make to the characters in this game. You play as Commander Shepard, and you can customize your look and everything. I didn't touch his fucking look because you leave it default.
He looks great.
That's the best way he's gonna
That's
look.
how he looks. That's how Shepard looks.
Yeah, and he's Commander Shepard, but I did customize him in the sense that you can change the first name. So my guy was Commander Jackson
I don't
Shepard.
even think he has a first name. Like you have
they
to
never
give
say
him.
it. They just call him Shepard, Commander Shepard, stuff like that. And you are like your ship from the end of Mass Effect 1, which the great part for PS3 players was they gave you like 5 to 10 choices that you could make in the beginning of Mass Effect 2. That is the entire game of Mass Effect 1. It's every important story note.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to just decide what you would have done in that situation, and then it plugs that into what you've already done. So you'll meet someone in Mass Effect 2 having never played the first one, but based on your answers, they're just like, yeah, just like you killed the Arachnite Queen. And you're like, oh fuck, I guess I did say I would have killed the Arachnite Queen.
Yeah.
Dude, the characters in that game, like Miranda Lawson, I think that was her name, right? Is that an actress?
I don't know. I just know remember she's Miranda. I don't know.
Okay, she shows up, and immediately she's super hot.
Mm-hmm.
And she has Yvonne Strahovski's voice doing a British accent. And you're like, I like this girl. And she's got abilities, and she's super strong, and she's got a crazy butt, and you're like, I want her on my fucking team. And you're like, you can have sex, like you can be in relationships, and you're like, I'm gonna bang her. But then if you're like me, you keep playing through the game, and you meet like Prisoner 13 or whatever. You go to like, you have to go rescue this certain person. There's a mission. And there's this whole crazy shit that happens, and you meet this chick Jack, and her head is like shaved, and she's covered in tattoos, and she's really mean, and she's like really strong. She doesn't really know how to control it, and you like try to console her. You'll be like, everything's gonna be okay. She's like, everything's not gonna fucking be okay. And if you're me, you're like, whoa, I like that. Why is she so mean to me? You meet Thane, who's this reptilian-looking guy with gills, and he's like the greatest assassin in the entire galaxy. And you have to recruit all these people to be on your side to take out the Reapers, who are they're another species that are trying to take over the entire galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Milky Way, they want it, and they're going to overrun it. You got to protect the entire... Dude, Mass Effect 2 is so fucking good.
Yeah.
The RPG elements, as far as like making the decisions go, how you level up your guy. Dude, I spent like 30 hours in that game mining planets, which is just you see a planet. The PS4 is showing itself. It's going to rest mode because we've been talking so long. You just see a planet and you move around this little cursor, and your controller will vibrate when you've found like ore, like usable materials.
Right.
And then you have to like drill into it and get it.
That was a really interesting mechanic.
I did it for like 30 hours because I had to upgrade my ship, and luckily I did, so none of my team died in the battle.
Yeah, and just the idea, like, what I always thought was really cool is like going to different planets and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the whole thing is you're constantly landing on different planets and just like seeing the different environments and stuff. It was, that game was special.
I platinumed that game.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, if it's not, it's up there for the hardest platinum I have, and I have a lot of hard.
I'm missing like 3 trophies, but I don't think
you're never gonna get them. I want you to just commit to say you're never gonna get them. I just need to hear.
That
words.
one I'll commit to never getting.
Okay, good. You piece of shit.
I think I've committed before.
Dude, Mass Effect 2, I'll play it forever. That game, like, I don't throw this around. That game's a fucking 10 in my book for sure.
Yeah, pretty close. I'd have a hard time disputing.
Disputing? Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah. Vladimir Disputin.
What is Tadpoo? What is your what's your number 2?
Fallout 3.
See? That was on my list as an honorable mention.
Okay, so
but I knew it would be on yours, so
when we did our top 5 of all time,
it
was my favorite game of all time. It was my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of when I said I took into account like what I just think is like a better game. Mm-hmm. Fallout 3, like I don't even know what to say at this point. I've talked about that game so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I guess that was the first game that ever played that was that deep of an RPG, and it just hooked me. And that's an interesting thing. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I actually played through that twice, and the first time I played through it, I was kind of disappointed with it.
What do you mean?
It was one of the first games I bought for I played it on 360. And I remember watching gameplay from it and like seeing it, and I thought it looked awesome. And then when I played it, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. Like it felt different, and I don't know, I didn't, but then I played through it, and I kind of just played through the story. Like I started doing side missions, and I was like, I'm just going to play through the story, get through this. I didn't even like hit the level cap the first time.
Oh wow, I didn't even think that was possible.
And then I was like, I should go back and give it another try. And my goal was to go through and play as a heal, like blow up Megaton and do all this shit. I didn't, because I always fucking get sucked into play. But that second time through, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what it is about that game that I love so much. But it's just the wasteland, fucking Capital Wasteland is amazing, and I don't know. It's just I just loved like going into different like buildings and
looking around, going through the computer terminals, and
dude, it's
reading what the people who were going through the war, what they were thinking, and
it feels so lived in. Like it feels like such a real place.
Like sometimes you'll find a vault, which is where people went so they'd be protected from the nuclear blast and everything. And you'll go in there and you'll be reading about how just like we're running out of food, we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, you could figure out all the stories and shit.
Like we're really trying to make it happen. Like Lacey's pregnant. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. It's just like, oh, these people are having a hard time. But then you'll go to another one and you read the computer terminals and you find out the whole thing is like a government project and they're like gassing these
testing
people.
Experimenting on people and stuff.
And they don't know they're being experimented on. And people are just like, they're just like, there was a death and we covered it up by saying like, oh, it must have been like bad rations.
Yeah.
And then there's like someone will turn into something and they're just like, fuck, how are we going to cover this one up? And then eventually the people in the vault figured it out and they would revolt. And you read all of this through the terminals and it's just like, well, you said it feels very lived in. Definitely. That's a great way to put it.
There's one, this might have been in New Vegas, where I went into one vault and there were all these enemies and they were just like vault dwellers.
Yeah.
Like they just looked like people. Like they weren't mutated or anything. And honestly, I think they all looked the same and they were all just called Gary. Like that was their name. They were all Gary and that's all they said.
Gary.
Was Gary. And they would attack you and try to kill you. And I don't remember the story of what happened. I'm sure I figured it out, but I think they were all like clones or like I don't remember what was going on. But it's just like you'd go in, like that was what was cool. It's like you'd find this shit and it'd be like, what the fuck? And there was like this whole like story behind it. Yeah, Fallout 3 is amazing. That game's a 10 in my opinion.
So that's your number 2?
Yeah.
So we've gotten to the number 1 portion of this. So now I know that you're not going to use my last audible. And this, don't get me wrong, this is not an audible for a number 1. It was just an audible in case I needed one. But I don't want anybody to forget how fucking good the Tomb Raider reboot was.
Yeah, Tomb Raider's good.
So,
well, I didn't finish that.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I should.
I just want to throw it out. It's probably like $6 on Amazon. Go get it.
It's on PS4 too.
I just want to throw it out there. I don't want people to play it on PS4. It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, why would?
It's just so good. I don't want people to forget how good of a game that was.
Yeah.
But my number 1 that I'll go with, because I know what yours is. I mean, if you ain't gonna show some love for Skyrim, Last Generation, you got to get out of my face. You didn't even list it as an honorable mention.
I got love for it. Yeah, well, I mean,
Skyrim is a 10, and Skyrim is better than any of the Fallout games. That was by far, in my opinion.
I'm not disputing that. See, I don't want to get into like what's better, but Fallout 3 for me is above Skyrim. I'm not saying Skyrim's not as good, and I didn't mention it because I knew it would be on your list. But Skyrim's amazing.
Skyrim changed the games that I play.
Yeah, Skyrim's incredible.
The light that I'm in right now, ow, something in my back just hurt. It looks like you got a white patch in your beard. You don't. It was just the light I was in.
You're old.
Tara picks grays out of my beard all the time. Skyrim changed the way I play games because I'm not going into that game. People at work were talking about it, and they were just like, "Man, you gotta play Skyrim." And I was just like, "I'm not a swords and dragons and wizards guy. Can't do it. I've never done it. I just don't think I have it in me." People kept talking about it, and they're like, "Dude, when I walked into like this one spot and this dragon swooped overhead." And I've never seen anything like that in a game. So I'm thinking like, okay, what do you mean you fought a dragon? Like the fucking dragons I've seen in games are like the snake dude in Mega Man 2. Mm-hmm. You know? It's like how does it what do you mean a dragon fight? Isn't that too big? So then I get Skyrim and I start playing it and I was like, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this before. And it changed the way I play games. Now when you tell me that there's a game that has swords and magic and dragons, I'm like, when does it come out? How much does it cost? Who developed it? Because that's my shit. When I grew up, one of my favorite shows was Hercules with Kevin Sorbo. Because he would kill dragons with a sword, and then somewhere along the way, I forgot that I loved that.
Yeah.
And Skyrim came out, and it totally changed the way I play games. That's my go-to shit now. Like, if I didn't play Skyrim...
It is weird, because I do remember you always said... hearing you say that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's completely different.
Skyrim changed it. If I didn't play Skyrim, I don't think I ever pick up Diablo. If I didn't play Skyrim, I don't pick up Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Yep.
If I didn't play Skyrim, I don't pick up Bloodborne. I don't pick up Dragon Age, which I never really got into anyway.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
I don't pick up The Witcher. I sure as fuck don't pick up The Witcher. Skyrim changed the way I play games, dude. It's so good, and that's the thing is we talked on the last episode about this generation of consoles being weak. One of the things I'm looking forward to most is playing Skyrim again. I think I gotta do it. Like, Skyrim was so good. I've told the story a million times. The way I ended that game was I married the lady in the first level. I don't know what the fuck it was called.
Lydia.
That was her name. But I don't...
Was it like River Run or something? Or
Whiterun? Whiterun. It was Whiterun.
There is a river place.
Glen River or something like that. Anyway, Whiterun. I go there.
It's River something.
There's this lady named Lydia, and then I find out that
River Run might be Game of Thrones.
I find out you can get married in the game, and I found there's a trophy for getting married. So I'm like, I like Lydia. She's always been there for me. She's good in battle. I'm gonna marry Lydia. So then I would have her. She stayed at the house that I bought in Whiterun, which is this really nice place. And I started putting all my fucking weapons that I couldn't carry, but I didn't want to sell. I would put them in there. And then eventually, like the biggest kingdom towards the end of the game, I bought the biggest house imaginable. Because I was filthy fucking rich at this point. I was like level 100 or some bullshit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So I buy the biggest one there. And
I think 50 was the cap.
I think that was the cap for your skills.
I think 100 was the cap for your skills.
Okay, I've got it the other way around. So I buy the biggest place, and she stays there, and she runs a store there. So she makes money. That's her job. You know what I'm saying? She ain't no do nothing bitch. She ain't a DMB. So I go out on my last mission in that game, and I come back, and before I walked in the door of my house, I took all my combat gear off, and I put my sword away. And I went into the house, and she was sitting down at the table eating like dinner, whatever the fuck was on the table. So I got all my gear off, I put my weapon away, I come in and I sit down at the chair and I just watched it for like 30 seconds of like her eating and then like the banter in the game is going back and forth. And then I shut the shit off and my story was over.
You never played again?
I've never touched it again. I didn't touch any of the DLC. I really wanted to. But my story was over. Like, his mission had come to an end. I am the Dragonborn. I saved Skyrim. I saved all of Tamriel. What the fuck else am I going to do? I'm going to stay at home with my wife. We're going to run our store. And we're set. There will be no more dragon slaying days for me. Skyrim is the best game of last generation for me. And now it's time for your number one. It's the main event. It's time for a drum roll.
Uncharted 3.
Well, thanks for coming.
The Uncharted series is just, it's incredible.
It's untouchable. It's 100% untouchable. Show me another trilogy that fucks with it.
The
It's not a trilogy anymore.
The story, the PS3 trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
The story is great. The characters are awesome, and it's just like the gameplay is awesome, and it's like watching a fucking awesome movie at the same time. It's just superb.
For me, it's better than watching an awesome movie because like Uncharted has moments in it that are like the big moments of like the Avengers 1. But in Avengers 1, that's Iron Man and Hulk. Mm-hmm. Like, they're doing their thing. I'm doing Nate's thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when he barely in Uncharted 2 gets behind like the cement pillar while that truck is shooting the 50 caliber machine gun at him, it's like, oh, that was close. To where when Iron Man does it, it's just like, oh, that was close.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know, I'm invested. I want him to wind up with Elena. Like, but you can fuck Chloe a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know, you want him to get.
You gotta get yours before you get got, though.
Yeah. I chose Uncharted 3 out of all of them because Uncharted 3, there's a lot of like dispute, like which is better, 2 and 3. I think most people think 2 is better. But I chose Uncharted
3 is better.
3. I agree, but slightly. Mm-hmm. They're both amazing.
One's the best.
I disagree.
In my opinion.
I disagree with
One
that.
is by far the best, in my opinion, but that's okay. I think I'm the only person in the world who feels that way.
I think so. One is great, and like it's great because it's set the stage. Mm-hmm. The twist in it is like so out of left field.
And just so we're clear, when I say Skyrim is the best game of all time, last generation, that's behind Uncharted 1. I knew you were going to say Uncharted. I didn't want to spoil it. Skyrim is number 2 to Uncharted 1.
I replayed Uncharted 1 on the Nathan Drake collection that came out on PS4. It's like the game as a whole is not as good as 2 and 3.
Definitely true.
Yeah.
But it's just my favorite.
No, and that's fine. I'm not disputing that. I'm just 3 though, where because 1 was awesome. One was one of the first games I played when I got a PS3. It was actually the first game I played when I got a PS3. There's a twist that like, you don't see coming at all. And then 2 comes out, and 2 like stepped it up like so much. Some people criticize it because it was like beat for beat the same story.
It's Force Awakens to New Hope.
But it's also different because like Uncharted 1 is basically you're in the same place the whole time. There's different environments, but you're on the same like island.
Yeah, the different environments in the sense that you go subterranean. Yeah. You're in a castle. You're in the jungle.
But it's the same location the whole time.
Yeah.
Where like Uncharted 2 comes out, and it's like you start and you're like sneaking through this museum to find like
you go to different continents.
Yeah, and it's like oh, we found that like the map. Now we got to go to fucking Australia, and I don't even remember where you go in the game.
You go to like Ooga Dooga
and like
now.
that leads you to something else, and then just like that just feels so cool. And like Uncharted 2 had like these amazing set pieces that Uncharted 1 really didn't do. Like the train sequence.
Yeah.
Just like where there are these like insane, like huge, like big blockbuster action movie things, but you're like hanging off the side of the train. Like just the way Uncharted 2 opens, where there's a train hanging off a cliff.
That changed video
I remember I was like, oh my, this is insane.
Yeah. I remember seeing that when they revealed that at the Spike Game Awards in like 2009 or 8. I was watching that, and they showed that scene, and when it ended, they cut to, I think like Joel McHale was the host, and they cut back to him, and his mouth was just open. He like didn't even have anything to say. He was just like, wow, yeah, good luck with the rest of this night.
Yeah,
he was like, what the fuck else are we going to show that's going to top that? And I think they showed that like halfway through the show with no hype. It was just like, award, reveal, award, reveal, black Uncharted 2 trailer. And when they came back, he was like, all right.
But Uncharted 3 to me was like I played. So there was that moment because I was like, oh yeah, I liked Uncharted 1. I've heard Uncharted 2 is great, and then Uncharted 3 I took because by the time I played those, Uncharted 3 was already out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took a long time off because I was like, I just played Uncharted 2.
You
I want to give
overdo it.
yeah, I want to give it some time to rest. And it was perfect cuz like I put Uncharted 3 in and I like the music started up. Dun, 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 and I was like that I remember feeling like hearing that and being like oh, like I like that was the first game where I was like the first Uncharted game that I played where I'm like I am an Uncharted fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this, I love this series and I am so excited to play this game. And it totally just lived up to what I wanted. Like
it lived up to the 10s that it was getting, which how often does that happen?
It was just so good.
I love the Uncharted game so much. 4 not so much, but we've covered that. Uncharted 2 came out and my first sitting with that game, I think I was in high school at the time that came out. I'm in high school, I'm single, I don't have shit else to do. But the first time I sat down in that game, I think I played it for 7 hours. And I was like, I wonder if I could beat this. Just take this whole thing in at once. And I couldn't. It was too long.
It's long.
It was too long. But that's how much I love those games. As soon as I could have it in my hands, I wanted the entire experience. I wanted to know all of it. And I wanted to know it so that when I beat it, I could just fucking play it again.
Mm-hmm.
And platinum it. Like, the Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 are so good that it's going to be... I don't know if any game series is ever going to come close to making me feel the way that game did. Those games did. And that's one of the reasons that Uncharted 4 fell so short with me.
Mm-hmm.
Is because it didn't give me that.
Sure. No, that's fair.
But...
looking back, it's... I don't know where I placed it.
4?
Yeah.
It's by far the bottom for me.
It's
It's not a bad game. Like, I don't want people to think I don't like Uncharted 4.
no, it's great.
But it's not close to the magic of the first 3 for me.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, I'd probably agree with you more.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed it. Where I feel like you kind of felt like it was a chore to get through. Where
yeah.
it was never that for me.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed it, but looking back, it's.
I don't. It's not even that it didn't like come close to the magic. It didn't have magic. For me, it didn't have magic.
There were more. There was. I thought there was some.
I think I've said this before, but the Uncharted trilogy is Superman, and then Uncharted 4 was Batman. Like it wasn't Smiley, and like there's a problem, but we know we can solve it. Like Uncharted 4 came out, it was just like, man, I don't know if we can get out of this one. And then some people don't. And then at the end, like you're supposed to smile anyway. It was like,
who doesn't?
What?
Who doesn't make it out of it?
I can't say.
Okay.
But
I don't know. You're like, okay.
Well, we've talked about Uncharted 4 enough, but yeah, it didn't have the magic part. But we're talking about the Uncharted. We can both agree that the Uncharted trilogy is our number one for last generation, right? Yeah. Okay. Like Skyrim.
That's the thing. Like
my phony number one because I knew where you were.
That's
going.
the thing. I had to pick one of them because I would just say like the Uncharted trilogy, but that's a cop-out.
No,
so,
I think let's just call it the Uncharted trilogy. We can do it. All right, it's our show.
Fine.
They're all so good. DanDans, this is What Game Are You Gaming? This was episode 11. This was our Halloween special / top 5 games of the last generation. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're going on SoundCloud.com/616entertainment or iTunes, whatever you like better, and listen to our Prime podcast, the 616 Entertainment podcast.
Our flagship show, as they call it.
The flagship show! We love you, Dan. We'll see you next time.